Thank you for watching. This is my Axial Yeti kit. It's completely put together. I did not feel like turning this into a 50 episode build series because it is really, there's not that much to it. First off, let me show you scale. Hope it's still in the frame. This is my Axial Terra. I know it looks a tiny bit different, but it is. This is advertised as a 10 scale vehicle. I believe that if I compare this to all of my other rides, it's pretty close to a 10 scale. The Yeti is also advertised as a 10 scale vehicle. If you put it next to a 10 scale, you will see that it is a lot bigger. This is more in like the 8 scale region. Cool thing with building a kit is that you don't actually realize what you're building until you're closing in to the finish line. You have like a whole bunch of parts. I also think I need to stress that why I prefer to build kits over getting a ready to run vehicle is a bit of appreciation. You don't really appreciate the kind of engineering and the kind of thought that went into developing an RC unless you have really had a close look and handled every single part of it. With this one, there is such an amount of engineering going on and such an amount of ingenuity that I would recommend getting a kit over the RTR any day. Also for troubleshooting in the future, I keep stressing that. It is way easier if you actually know what to look for. Anyway, compared to the RTR, I do not have RTR. I needed to do a whole lot of reading to come to the conclusion that people have had some problems with those when they just came out. Most of those problems were concerning dog bones in the front. That's something that's different in the kit. You find a CVD system in front with like a regular dog bone half towards the center, and wheels. People had problems with their wheels. I believe there's an update out for that. But you get a total different system with the kit if you compare it to those early ready-to-runs. I believe the early ready-to-runs came with a rim which was like completely molded and just a slot on the inside in which your drive pin would then fit, and you would mount it directly to the drive shaft, to put it like that. The kit comes with regular aluminium hexes, then a hex adapter, that one going to the rim. All of those screws that you see around those centers, they're actual screws, so be prepared to put in a lot of work to put these rims together. And then from there, it's a regular beadlock system. It is, however, a system I was not familiar with. Turns out it has been out for quite a bit. But these rims, they're vented and they're tunable. So you can choose to go for either 1, 2 or 3 vented holes. There's a tiny pin sticking out from the inside of the rim, and then with the rear beadlock you can sort of clock in which setting you want to go for, which of those 3 settings. I think it's a pretty cool system, went together without any problems. The wheels, they're method licensed wheels. They look really cool. I'm glad that they're plastic because I don't want to be concerned with breaking any aluminium rims when I'm out bashing. And the tires are also different from what you would find in your ready-to-run kit, because these are Falcon tires instead of the BF Goodrich ones. Well, got all of that out of the way. On to building it. Were there any difficulties? No. You get some upgraded gears inside the diff and also for the rear axle. Getting those to mesh correct, it was a bit of a task, but I think that was just with my car. When I tied up the top 2 screws of the diff casing, I had a bit of a grinding noise going on. It wasn't until I actually put in the bottom 2 screws of the diff casing that was completely gone. So that was something that I was initially a tiny bit concerned with. Also swapped out some gears front and back just to see if I could get rid of it, but it is something that will disappear over time as you build along. One thing that I did run into was the diff fluid. It is so thick just to get a tiny bit of lock in the front that you risk the whole bottle of diff fluid actually exploding on you. Happened with me as well. This will sound like a really wrong story, but you squeeze the bottle, there's a really tiny hole in the top and the entire top will come off and it will spill diff fluid all over your working place. In this case over my living room table and also over my hands and everything, so I had a lot of cleaning up to do. Again, I know that will sound really wrong, but everybody I have seen who has built this kit has had the exact same issue with the bottle of diff fluid, so be warned. This is the final part that you put together, but I can't wait to paint this body up and that interior. It looks really cool, also with those two driver figures, the molded cage. Everything is really high quality, as you would expect from Axial. The shocks, the licensed shocks, Icon shocks, aluminium shock bodies. If you take your time to put them together, always take your time to put together a kit, but take your time especially with stuff like the shocks. Fill them properly, bleed them properly, and you end up with something that is, well, you know, it already looks like it will handle like a dream. We will of course see that out on the bashing field, if it will actually absorb all of the abuse that I'm going to give it. But I can't really see any weak points. Compared to the ready to run, they have also reinforced the rear trailing arms with 2 pieces of aluminium per arm. I think not only does it stiffen up the rear a whole lot, but it looks a lot cooler. You have the idea that it's a bit more of a high-end vehicle. You also have the aluminium turnbuckles in front, as well as the aluminium steering links. I believe those are plastic on the ready-to-run version. The more aluminium, the better. I always think, in this case no different. Where it counts, they put in the aluminium. You still have the plastic center drive shaft in the back. I don't think that is a real problem. That's most likely something that you would like to replace somewhere down the line. But for now, I'm just going to run it as it is, because to me everything looks like it will take a beating. The only thing that I ran into, but that's because I opted to go for Castle Creations. This is a short course truck motor, a 1415. Can handle up to 4 cell lipos, and it's a bit longer than any conventional motor. So I needed to cut a tiny slot in the battery tray. Not a big issue. Don't pay any attention to my steering servo, which is just a high-tech servo that I had laying around, a waterproof one, but I'm pretty sure I need to have something that's a tiny bit stronger to make those 2.2-inch tires move. So in brief, did I run into any issues? No, not really. It took me 10 to 12 hours to build this car. I'm really impressed with the level of engineering that it's at. And I'm also really impressed with the value for money that I think you're getting compared to any of the ready-to-run Yetis. I always like to get the kits, also because I can upgrade as I go and I got a good understanding of what I'm actually driving. I've read that in the kit you actually get $150 to $200 worth of upgrades. So if you are into tinkering a tiny bit and really figuring out your setup and knowing what you're driving, I would recommend the kit over the ready to run any day. If you want to have more info about this car, go check out the links in the description box. And if you want to be ahead of what I'm doing over here, also go have a look. There's a link to my Instagram, my Facebook, and all that stuff. I hope you will tag along also to see how the body will turn out. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. And if you have questions, if I missed a lot of stuff in this video, which I can imagine I did, leave me a comment in the box below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.